This gentleman seems to have no problem smoking on board a commercial flight. And don't be alarmed, because he's not going against any smoking bans. Flying on a plane may have been normalized gradually over the 20th century, but it wasn't the same experience as it is today. I mean, even imagining having a long smoking session up in the air will have you fined up to $4,000 today. But did you know smoking wasn't a mid-flight offense back in the days? That's right, folks. Some airlines even gave away free cigarettes to passengers. What other crazy things were a norm in the 50s and 60s, also called the golden age of commercial aviation? If you want to know, then stick around, because I've got lots of mind-blowing information for you in today's video. Imagine you have a flight in a couple of days, and it's time to start packing an airport outfit. Do you choose a sharp-looking formal suit or a casual and comfortable outfit like sweatpants? Most people will choose the latter, and it's sensible because you want to avoid discomfort during long travel journeys. But why are these people dressed in their best on board a flight? Let me tell you. During the early days of commercial aviation, people suited up for flights like they were heading to a fancy dinner party in the sky. It was all about looking posh and sophisticated. Airlines marketed flying as a luxurious experience, so passengers felt obliged to dress the part. Who wouldn't want to impress fellow travelers with their impeccable style while sipping champagne and nibbling on some caviar? That's right, caviar. It's hard to believe that this isn't a scene from some high-class cocktail party, but an actual in-flight meal service. Compare it to what travelers get in the name of a meal on board today, it's almost tragic. Nowadays, we're lucky if we get a bag of peanuts and a lukewarm cup of coffee, don't we? The golden age of flying was like dining in a swanky restaurant, but with wings. Passengers were treated to gourmet meals served on fine china with real silverware. The food included carved roasts, lobster, lamb chops, luxurious desserts, salads, and drinks included lots of alcohol. Even the economy class passengers on Pan Am flights enjoyed stuffed guinea hen, while first-class passengers ate caviar and made-to-order eggs. Providing such a food menu must have been really expensive for the airline, so now you may be wondering how much was an actual flight ticket which came with such luxurious meals. Stay with me as I will answer this later in the video. Remember when we showed you how mid-flight smoking was normal? It wasn't just permitted, it was practically encouraged. The 1950s and 1960s saw a widespread acceptance of smoking in public spaces, and airplanes were no exception. Airlines capitalized on this trend and allowed their smoking passengers by providing dedicated smoking sections and even special smoking lounges on board certain aircraft models. Some cigarette brands even sponsored airline services and provided complimentary packs of cigarettes to passengers. People viewed smoking as a way to pass the time and socialize with fellow travelers. I mean, it almost feels fair, because now we have all our devices and in-flight entertainment to keep us occupied. How would have people spent their time if not by enjoying a smoke and wine? By the 1960s and 1970s, the harmful effects of smoking were becoming more widely recognized. In 1983 and 1993, smoking bans for passengers in cabins were introduced, while pilots were still allowed to smoke in the cockpit. You will be shocked to know that it wasn't until 2017 that a total ban on in-flight smoking was announced, and the cockpit ban came in 2019. Let's talk money now. Back then, snagging a seat on a commercial flight wasn't just a matter of booking online with a few clicks. It was an exclusive affair reserved for the privileged upper class. Ticket prices were very expensive, and a ticket could cost up to 5% of a person's salary. For example, a round-trip ticket from Chicago to Phoenix in 1955 cost $138, which is equivalent to $1,168 when we adjust it for inflation. A one-way ticket to Rome in the 1950s would cost more than $3,000 in today's currency. Who could afford such extravagance, you ask? Well, certainly not the average Joe or Jane working a 9-to-5 job for a modest paycheck. Flying was reserved for the wealthy elite, celebrities, and business moguls who could afford to splurge on luxury travel experiences. Compare it to today, we surely get to fly for a lot cheaper, but low prices have also cut down on all the extravagance of the golden age. Enjoying the video so far? Wait till you get to see how much space passengers used to have on board. Before we tell you, please take 2 seconds to help me out. Hit like and subscribe if you're enjoying the video so far. Each like and subscribe helps support this channel and keeps me motivated to keep making you valuable content. Thank you. Now back to the video. Back in the good old days, the cabin of a plane wasn't like the situation it is today. You literally feel like sardines squished together in a can, don't you? If you drop something while sitting, you can't reach down and retrieve it without bumping your head. But that wasn't the case in the 50s and 60s. An average distance between the seat front or back of your seat was 34 to 40 inches, and today it has come down to just 28 inches as they cram more and more people on board. The high ticket prices meant fewer passengers and more space on board, so the seats were wide, reclined more, and some even turned into twin-size sleepers. And that's not all. Many airlines had sleeping cabins that hung above the traditional seating. Back in the day, passengers had to rely on more traditional forms of entertainment to pass the time during flights. Airlines would screen movies on small overhead projectors, offering a limited selection of classic films for passengers to enjoy. There were other things like magazines and newspapers to catch up on the latest news and gossip. Some carriers even offered in-flight libraries stocked with books and novels for passengers to borrow during their journey. Also, passengers could play board and card games. Ladies could take their knitting needles on flights and gracefully spend their time while knitting. But today, we have strict regulations and security concerns, and bringing needles on board is unimaginable. Anyone who's gone through airport security barefoot and emptied their bags to be checked knows how frustrating this step is. But it wasn't anything like this during the golden age. Security screening for boarding flights was virtually non-existent, and passengers breezed through airport terminals with minimal scrutiny, often without even having to present identification. The idea of long security lines, body scanners, and thorough bag checks was virtually unheard of. At the time, airport security meant preventing hijackings rather than screening passengers for weapons or dangerous items. People without a ticket could go anywhere in the airport, and if you wanted to see your loved one before they boarded the plane, you simply went onto the tarmac and waved at them as they walked up a transportable set of steps. Crazy, right? The flight attendants of today were called stewardesses, and believe it or not, the two roles are strikingly different. While contemporary flight attendants represent diverse backgrounds in terms of gender, race, and religion, stewardesses were exclusively female, often chosen based on strict physical criteria, including appearance, weight, and behavior. They had to be outgoing and wore much more attractive attire than today. The uniforms were tailored to accentuate femininity, with shorter hemlines and form-fitting silhouettes. And by the way, only women with the best looks and figure could get the job. When the crew walked through the terminal carrying their bags, everyone was either handsome or beautiful. Big fashion names like Christian Dior, Chanel, and Pierre Balmain were working with airlines to design the crew uniforms. Today, however, flight attendant uniforms prioritize functionality and comfort, with less emphasis on aesthetic appeal. And many airlines allow traditional head coverings in their uniforms. Like we said, only young and attractive females could get the stewardess job. This discrimination extended even further. How? Let's see. During the mid-20th century, racial segregation was widespread, with airlines enforcing policies that barred minorities and black passengers from certain flights or seating areas. It's true, the people of color could fly, but air travel was mostly for white people due to racial discrimination. These discriminatory practices persisted until the civil rights and feminist movements of the 1960s and 1970s challenged this inequality. Imagine if it was still the same as today. Although everyone would like an upgrade in the meals served on board and more leg space to stretch out more, we should be thankful for inclusivity, better security, and a wide range of in-flight entertainment options. Now tell me, what do you think about the golden age of flying? Write down in the comments below. If you had fun watching the video, check out this one on the screen right now. See you there.